We're going to dive into how to open a high yield savings account, why you should have a high yield savings account, and how much my high yield savings account has paid me since January of 2025. If you're new here, hi, I'm Danielle. I make videos on my personal finance journey. I am a first-gen Latina and daughter of immigrants who is trying to build wealth and reach financial independence. If you want to see how I'm building wealth, because I am going to share my journey, I have been sharing my journey, then subscribe to this channel, like this video, support me in those ways. But in today's video, this is actually going to be an update of a video I made in 2020. Not a lot of the why has changed from that video, but some things have changed in terms of how much high yield savings accounts are paying today. Back in 2020, I was talking about 1%. Now we're looking at like 3%, 4% high yield savings accounts. So things have changed. And I wanted to make this updated video to reflect those changes. But today I'm going to cover the story time, why I decided I needed to have a high yield savings account, what I think it does to your psychology when you save through a high yield savings account, and how that actually helps you save more. And then we're going to dive into how to actually go about finding one. And then I'm also going to share how much I've earned in my high yield savings accounts since this year. Let's go back to 2017, Danielle. I was just getting started on my money journey. I had no idea how to do anything, but I also didn't understand high yield savings accounts. I had the traditional savings account at my brick and mortar bank where I had my checking account. I was logging in to my account, seeing both checking, both savings, and really thinking about my savings account as an extension of my checking account. So anytime that I was low on the checking account, I would just transfer funds from savings to checking, and all of a sudden money would be there and I could spend that money. So I started realizing I wasn't making any dent on my savings goals. Everything was kind of zeroing it out because I just kept on transferring over money. And I was also getting charged for those transactions. After a certain number of transfers, my bank would charge me a fee for going over. And I was essentially paying to have a savings account with my brick and mortar bank. Thankfully, I learned about high yield savings accounts and realized, oh, you know what? Actually having my money in this traditional savings account wasn't in my best interest, because high yield savings accounts are actually able to offer higher interest rates and higher returns for the money that you keep saved than a traditional brick and mortar bank is. And part of the reason why they're able to do that is because they don't have that like physical location where they have to like think about head count and staffing the place. And so they can really kind of give you those savings. And so that in itself makes it like the most attractive reason to open a high yield savings account. The piece about the high yield savings account that is related to psychology that I think is important to talk about is this idea of when you separate your checking account from where you're saving. When you just like separate those accounts, you're not seeing it every time you log into your checking account, every time you log into your bank information. You're not seeing it. And so you're like kind of setting and forgetting it. Whereas what I was doing was anytime I logged in, I would see savings, I would see checking, and it would be in my head the same pot of money. And so actually for me, the benefit of a high yield savings account was the fact that it would be in a different bank that would need different login credentials. And so I think that's the piece that makes it so much more impactful to save in a high yield savings account, when you can just direct deposit money in there and you're not logging in when you're thinking about paying your bills like you would a checking account. Once you're ready to take the step to open a high yield savings account, I recommend, and I did this in my last video, but I do recommend NerdWallet's list. But you can't just like go to one list of recommendations for high yield savings accounts. So I just searched up high yield savings accounts, and sponsored first post is NerdWallet. I'm going to scroll down to see what else is out there. Okay, so the first two, NerdWallet and Bankrate, I've already opened them up just in preparation for this video. So we're going to open up each article and we're going to see what the top recommended accounts are. So NerdWallet. Best high yield savings accounts for May 2025. I feel that they're always updating these, I think, because like every time I search and it's a different month, like they have a new article. So they're always updating the same account. But what do they have here? Let's see. Up to 4.66%. Pretty good. Pretty good, because right now my current high yield savings account is at a 3.6. Let's see what the options are. Axos One Saving with a minimum balance. So that's one thing you want to look at, right? You want to look at the APY, like what is the return that they're willing to offer you. And then you also want to look to see if there is a minimum that you need to have in order to open up that account. So the first one on this list requires a $1,500 minimum just to open an account for that APY. 0% minimum. I mean, that 4.66, that's pretty good. Axos Bank. I don't think I've ever heard of them. We can look into it too. Like you can always say, I don't know that I've heard of Axos. Let me look it up. And you just type it up and then you see what people are saying about it. This is what I do. I'm always like, is anything on Reddit? Is there anyone tried? Okay, so look, 11 months ago, has anyone tried Axos Bank? I mean, personally, I don't know that I would. Based on these comments that people are leaving, based on just my quick little research on Axos, I'm good. But of course, you want to do more of your research. You want to see what people are saying. I think that that's important to me. I want to know like if other people have used it, what they have found. Barclays, 4.1, no minimum balance. Everbank, again, also haven't heard of them, but that's fine. As long as they're FDIC insured, I think, we're good. SoFi, have heard of them. They can earn up to $300 with direct deposit. Okay, Lending Club, Capital One, American Express. Okay, so most of these also I have heard of. So it's pretty good. NerdWallet gives you kind of their explanation about why they like it. So that could also be worth reading. Let's see if the ones on this list also made it on Bankrate. Okay, so up to 4.4. Everbank, also there. Genius, Marcus, Forbright, okay, Rising. All right, this is what I wanted to show you. I wanted to show you some traditional savings accounts. Chase, Bank of America. What'd I say? This is a joke. 0.01%. Let's open up their page. Let's just see. Okay, well, that's not opening up their page. Chase. Okay. Savings, let's look. Okay. Number 1, service fee. There you go. There's a fee. Earn interest. Let's look at the interest rate here. 0.01. Okay. Yeah. No, thank you. I'm going to pass, Chase. I am going to pass. I am going to just click on Barclays here and kind of show you what that would look like if we were to do a step-by-step. And now I just went on their promotional thing. So let me just go on a search for Barclays online savings. Okay, online savings account. They have different. So they have a tiered savings and an online savings account. Online saving account. Let's see. I wonder what the difference is. No monthly maintenance fees, no minimum balance, savings done's right. Okay, okay. Still have questions. Let's see what their FAQ tells me. Let's look at the difference. So I can't, from this FAQs, understand, okay, here, how is my tiered savings accounts different from an online savings account? The annual percentage yield for an online savings account is the same regardless of balance. The APY for a tiered savings can change depending on the balance in your account. Okay, so the only difference between the tiered savings and the regular savings is that depending on the balance, it fluctuates. So let's go to tiered savings and let's open an account. So opening an account, all account owners will need a social security number, taxpayer identification number, external bank or routing number. So all of the information you need to be able to open an account. Surprised to see that Ally was not mentioned on any of those lists. And maybe I'm surprised, maybe I'm not, is because their current APY annual percentage yield is a 3.6. What we have here and what I want to show you is what year to date I have received from Ally just for having money in the bank, not doing anything, right? And so you can see here the interest year to date has been over $1,000, over $1,000 just to have 75K, which is our down payment for a house, sitting with Ally instead of Chase. You saw what Chase was offering. You saw what Bank of America was offering. If I had a savings account at one of those two banks, I wouldn't see that money. Like the 1,000 would not go to me. I would probably see like 75 cents, if that. And so that is why opening a high yield savings account for money that is not going to be invested, for money that is your emergency fund or a down payment that you need to have accessible to you, but don't need to have it associated to the bank or traditional bank where you have your checking account, is important to consider and look around. Who has high interest rates? Who is providing a good return for the money that you are putting in their bank? And so for the last 10 years, for the last, I don't know how long it's been since I have at least 5 years since I've had Ally Bank. I have been using them and I will still continue to use them. Just wanted to show you, this is what you're leaving money on the table by just staying with a traditional bank. And then to look down here, just per month, it's been $215, over $200 a month that I have gotten from this one account. And so that is the updated video. Hopefully this was helpful. Hopefully it was good to see how things have changed since 2020, right? 1%, we're no longer there. We're looking at 3%. So it's time. If you haven't made the switch to a high yield savings account, don't sleep on it. Do it now, especially as you build your emergency fund buffer, especially as you're thinking through your savings goals for the rest of the year. That is all for today's video. If you enjoyed this kind of content, please like this video, share it with somebody who needs to open a high yield savings account, and leave a comment. Let me know if you did open an account. Let me know if you are saving towards something. I'd love to hear from you. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.